Hey, what is going on, guys? Donovan here. I'm wearing the same shirt I was in the last video because it's actually the same day. I'm uploading this later, but it's the same day I filmed the previous one. I started doing some of the wiring for the car, and unfortunately it's not very easy to film everything, but I will show you kind of step by step my progress so far and any tips or pointers that I have. So moving over to the engine bay, as you can see, I have all these tools here. As you can see, the MSD box is mounted on using that Velcro I had talked about earlier. That's kind of a temporary thing, but it makes it easier for me to, move it if I need to. So the circuit box is mounted here. This is the side with the ground wire, and this is the side without it. This bracket on the fuse box was absolutely perfect for this. The ground wire, I went ahead and ran a pretty thick wire from here all the way down here, which is a little ground spot on the body. So I tried as hard as I could using this like tubing and stuff to make it look as OEM as possible. I think it's coming out okay so far. The next step, I'm gonna go ahead and attach the circuit box red wire to the 12 volt power thing, and then I'm going to attach the pink wire inside the fuse box to fuse 39 for now. So I'll update you when I'm there. Alright guys, so I've made a little more progress. Fuse box is up right now. I attached, this is the 12 volt power thing that comes from the circuit box. Right now I'm going to work on attaching that fuse to the fuse box. So this is that fuse tapper thing I was talking about. The reason I went with that is so I'm not like stretching the metal in the fuse by pushing two things in there at once. So as you guys can see from the diagram, red goes to your 12 volt power, then pink is good. So yellow's unused, black's already done, and then I'll probably move on to more MSD wiring in a minute. The reason I'm kind of waiting on that is because that little actuator is still not here, so I can't do much with the little clip thing that actually goes into the actuator here. So I obviously don't know the length I need for that. I might wait till the manifold is actually on for that, but we're looking good so far. Okay guys, so I'm sorry if you could hear that weird siren in the distance, but I've pretty much finished most of what I can do when I don't have that little actuator that goes at the back of the manifold. Obviously this is still a 5.7 manifold. I just figured I'd start some of the wiring now, or do most of it before I install the other one. But I'm at a point now where that actuator ain't coming till tomorrow. I really have nothing else to do since, we're kind of stuck at home. Really, I think I'll start unplugging the injectors and getting the fuel rails off and get this thing unbolted and start prepping the other manifold. Perhaps get that throttle body put on. So yeah, we'll see. So actually, I want to point out, obviously these fuel rails are pressurized. They're full of gasoline. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to remove these hoses before I go ahead and try to pull the fuel rails off, and I'm going to try to pull them off without disconnecting this line here. And we're going to see if I could try not to get gas everywhere. Since I don't have a fuel disconnect tool, I'll obviously have to pull this off, and I'll have to pull this off before I can lift up the fuel rails and pull them off and swap them onto the new manifold. So we'll see how that goes. Okay guys, so this is kind of a big jump in the video. I realized that I was just kind of chugging along and I hadn't recorded anything. So as you can see, today, actually you can't see this, but today's the next day. I've got the old intake manifold off, and I'm prepping the new one by putting the throttle body and stuff. Prepping the old one through the throttle body on it. I think I'm going to rotate it though, because people have it oriented differently. The wiring is in a good spot. I have a lot of it within the shroud now, and it's not the prettiest thing in the world. Unfortunately, some of the wires start going a million different directions, so it gets a little difficult. like I have a Y joint here, but I had someone contact me and say they had some of this tape that like the OEM wiring harness uses to make it look a little more legit. The wires that go to the actuator and injector are in this tube, so I'll get ready to do that today. Obviously intake manifold was off. This process wasn't too bad. There's a couple of like hoses that are an absolute bitch to take off though. One of the hoses on the front of the intake, the rubber right angle joint just gave out on me, so I gotta go to the auto parts store and find another one. And this brake booster hose, I believe is what it's called, that goes on the back of the intake. Holy crap, I don't know if I was just tired last night, that probably contributed, but I could not get that thing off for the life of me. My dad came this morning, helped me out, because man, I was about to just start throwing crap in the garage. So that's where we're at now. Still waiting on that stupid actuator from UPS. UPS hates me. I'm genuinely convinced UPS hates me. And we're going to start reassembling things. I was able to take the fuel rails off without disconnecting the fuel line because I didn't want to get fuel everywhere. So we're in a pretty good spot. Okay guys, so I have made decent progress. Brandon's here helping me out. You guys have seen Brandon before. If you haven't, since I have a lot of new viewers, this is Brandon. He helps me all the time on stuff and I give him nothing in return. So I know this is kind of a jump cut here, but we got the intake manifold installed. Thankfully, UPS was able to deliver the new actuator today, which is in the back. You can't really see it. Got the fuel rails in, injectors connected. I tapped into the injector wire already here with the white one from the MSD box. The connector to the actuator is already plugged in and already wired up, but as you can see, these wires are a little too long. And for the time being, I may just leave them this long and tuck them like back here because I don't really feel like doing more wiring right now, but actually I say that, but I still have to. This intake air temperature sensor needs to be extended because this is as far as it goes and the intake tube is going to be here. This map sensor wire only goes to here and the map sensor is here, so I am going to have to extend this in the morning. I was going to do it tonight, but for some reason this tape is a beast and I can't get it off. So I'll likely figure that out tomorrow. Install went fairly smooth. It's funny that I say that though. This little rubber cap came off from somewhere and I couldn't figure out where. So if you guys know where this rubber cap comes from, let me know. I'm a little bit scared, but at the same time, what can I do? I unfortunately tore this little elbow when I uninstalled the other intake manifold, so I had to go to Napa Auto Parts and find something similar, so that should be okay for now. This thing moves a bit, but that's not the end of the world. I'll figure out a way to mount it to this clip back here. You know, other than that, that's pretty much it. I tried to figure out how to make the intake tube fit onto the throttle body. As you can see, I sawed it a bit, so that way it could sit like this. I'm probably going to go to AutoZone tomorrow or one auto parts store and just try to get like in a rubber tube to put here. So yeah, that's pretty much the spot I'm at, guys. Hoping to have this thing up and running tomorrow, and then we should be good to go. So thank you for your help, Brandon.
No problem.
Okay guys, so everything is installed so far. My dad helped me with some of the wire extensions. Like you have to extend the map sensor, which comes back here. You can see that here. You have to extend the intake air temperature sensor, and I left this one extra long because I don't know where that's going to be in the next intake. And so I'm getting ready to plug in the battery and then we'll be good to go. Okay guys, so I apologize for my crazy hair. My dad and I got the wiring squared away. It looks ugly right now. I'm gonna clean it up a little bit, but there were a couple of crimping issues I had, so it wasn't grounded properly, so it wasn't working at first, but now it's good. So we tried starting up the car and it was misfiring pretty badly. So I'm thinking I have someone coming who is far more knowledgeable than I am. Perhaps, you know, there's a little vacuum leak somewhere or something like that, or I didn't torque the things down correctly, which I thought I did, but you know, who knows. Or maybe there's some other issue somewhere that I'm missing. So yeah, we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated. Okay guys, so we got the issue figured out, and I'm so excited to say that this thing is finally freaking running. So I don't know if I explained, I forgot what I said in the last clip that I filmed, but the car was misfiring terribly, to the point like it sounded like it had the choppiest cam ever. So obviously there was an issue there. The car should have fired right up. So my issue was, and I want to make sure that you guys don't make the same issue I did, or don't make the same mistake I did, rather, and make sure really that you have the proper tools. So what happened was one of the wires on the map sensor came undone because I crimped it improperly. So I was using some older crimping tool and I realized, you know what, I'm gonna go buy something good and made in America. So I went and bought some Klein Tools crimpers, and I got that thing crimped down nice and tight now, so there shouldn't be an issue. Car fired right up perfectly. It looks like the MSD box is working properly. It lights up when the car is on. And I could clean up the wires a little bit, but at this point I'm just excited to have this thing running because there were so many little things. Like, for example, I need to get a bracket for this. Like, so many little things you run into like that are just kind of annoying, or having to extend the air temperature sensor. It's just like, ugh. So I'm glad to have it installed. I'm glad to have it running. I'm gonna take this thing for a drive. We're gonna see how it does. And yeah. I know this wasn't an informative video. The point of this video was not to be a tutorial. I have wiring guides, or I have made a wiring guide that's been uploaded already. That stuff is all correct still. At the time of filming this video, that video is actually private because I was afraid that some of the information I gave was wrong. But by the time you see this video, I'll make it public again, so that way you guys can get some information, and hopefully it helps you with the install. There are no vacuum leaks as far as I can tell now. It doesn't sound like it at all. So the actual bolting down should be good to go. The injectors were all seated properly. And I mean, at this point, I'd say the car is pretty much ready to go. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video and you wanted just to kind of follow along with it, please remember to click that like button below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.